Hey,
BFL Show, Week 7. I don't know how your guys' video is lined up, but Phill is the cream to our Oreo. Mike, your mic's on the bottom. I'm on top on our recorded video.
I could go for a big Philly sandwich right now.
Oh, we could road. That's dirty, but we could road trip to Philly and have a nice Philly sandwich with Phill in the middle. Why did that happen? How did that happen?
Preordained.
Phill, our resident Las Vegas, whatever, Raiders season ticket holder, can't go to the game, so he's bringing the game with him. He's got the stadium next to him and prominently, so well done, Phill. And I just have to get this out there. Mr. Undefeated he switched rooms for this video, and I don't know how the gods are gonna feel about that. Mike, how are you doing?
I have house guests. There's a 6-year-old child asleep in the room that I usually do it, who's got to get up early and get a flight back to Texas tomorrow in the morning. So
you look at that 6-year-old and you say, I'm 6-0. Anyway. All right. Let's just rock into this thing. Starting with biggest blowout.
Can I tell you guys what Ryan texted me about 1 o'clock on Sunday?
Sure.
He said, I'm about to shit all over Seth.
Dang.
he was right.
So
it was probably later than 1 o'clock.
You guys, I'm just learning, like, you guys are so
DeAndre
aggressive.
Hopkins would have got me anything, that would have been me up there.
He was a little light. What's up with that, DeAndre? At least, I mean, I'll give this like a 7 on the blowout scale. Yeah?
Yeah. 200 points is a lot.
200 points is excellent, right?
Yeah.
All right. Nice job, Ryan. Way to shit all over Seth. Dang, 6-0.
Looks good, doesn't it? This feels right.
It just feels right.
I think it's funny to me because I have never led the league in scoring in a given week, but I'm leading overall. It's just a combination of fortune, good luck, and some timely touchdowns, some big plays. It's you got to enjoy it while it lasts.
Consistency is key. Good job.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly was feeling down for a while, and then Derrick Henry rattled off a 94-yard touchdown. I'm sorry about that, John. That kind of changed the whole fortune and the outlook.
That will make you a little bit more chipper, won't it? When your monster does his monster things.
Well, and then they got the fortunate overtime where he got the 50-yard catch and then finished it off with another touchdown. That was just like, and then Kelsey scores 2. And there was a holding penalty. It's just, like I said, it's just you got to ride the wave when it's all going your way. So
for sure.
Everything's landing balls first right now.
Everything's landing balls first. Keep doing exactly what you're doing. I recommend going downstairs right now, but you don't have to do it. That's okay. All right. Here we go. Just some NFL stuff. I pull these pictures from the Ringer just because honestly I like the art. You'll notice this. Is that Adam Gase?
It looks like him.
The
yeah.
Jets guy. Here's why they're on there, because they were actually a big winner this week because they lost. Like they're the only 0-5 team left. So tank for Trevor is on for them. Although I don't think Trevor Lawrence is the answer to what they need. They need a lot, but that's why he's the winner here. What else? What do you guys want to point out here? Anything?
And then Rodgers was also a big loser apparently because he was smothered. And then who's the Giants guy?
I don't know why they're up there. Maybe because they won.
Okay. Well, Derrick Henry, I can vouch for his greatness. What a stud.
Absolutely. No, this is in a year of like Rodgers kind of being motivated. We'll see how he comes back from this. Yeah, I don't know.
He's very very short and direct in his interviews today.
Okay. Houston sucks, so he's gonna.
He was still his normal self yesterday on McAfee, though. He still had a good time with those guys, so I think he'd be fine. Rodgers will be Rodgers.
I heard him kind of McAfee kind of asked him a question about the football gods. Did you guys hear that? You guys see that?
Yes,
So,
it did.
No, I didn't.
kind of goes along with what we said. No, and so McAfee was like, "Did you anger the football gods with your celebration?" And Rodgers had, he had an okay answer. I was okay with what he said. He was like, the only, like, if you copy someone's poorly, then that angers the gods. I don't know. Anyway.
Oh, is that
Watch
the
it.
picture of him doing is that what he's doing in the picture?
Yeah, that's what he's doing on this. You got to
Doing
think.
the pumps. Man, people made a big deal about that. I love that sketch. I thought it was hilarious.
All right. Kicker awards. Big Philly style is on here twice with two different kickers.
2 times.
So what's your strategy for getting high points from your kickers? What are you looking for?
Picking up guys that other people drop.
All right, there it is.
So it helps if you got a guy who's going to be on a team that's going to score a lot of points. So that's kind of the one key.
Kind of the typical. Yeah, I like dome kickers. I like high scoring offenses. You got to look at who they're playing against, stuff like that. Yeah. And then Mike, that's not a 3 points from Gostkowski. That's the old -3.
That's when I was feeling the heat. Like everything seemed to be going the other way.
And you still won. Dang.
A field
Glad I
goal.
dropped him that COVID week.
a field goal in the 20-yard range was blocked, and then he missed one in the 30-yard range, and it was like, okay, well, that's why. I'm glad I never carry 2 kickers, but I'm glad I held on to Lutz because I figured somebody would pick him up.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
we're glad to have Lutz back for the rest of the year.
Is it truly a performance Cody Parkey would be ashamed of? All right. And here we go. So it was awesome this week because I don't know if you listened last week, but we said if you guys want to be on the show, let us know. And Phill said, "Yeah, I'm in." And so I think that's amazing. And so me and Mike both were like, "Yeah," right away. And then we were talking. We talked throughout the week what do we want on the show. And then Phill suggested, "Let's talk waiver wires and who's doing good." Phill, what do you think? What do you think? Tell us about these dudes.
I think you wanted to talk about Chase Claypool.
Well, definitely got to talk about my boy Claypool.
You pat yourself on the back.
So a couple things. This is a little bit of old times. Johnny and I did a radio show for a short while during the Carroll College days. So this is
Nice.
a little bit of like a flashback.
True.
So that was a big reason why I wanted to do this.
Nice.
And I was waiting for my invite. I thought it was invite only. So then once I knew it wasn't invite only, I jumped on it.
There you go.
But on to our studs here. So I'll tell you a little bit about how I came up with the finalists. So I had the whole list. I got the stats of everybody who got picked up this week during the waivers. And I made the cutoff 40 points. So there were 9 players who qualified with 40 points. Then I eliminated any players who didn't get started by their fantasy manager, like Fulgham, Mike.
Oh, okay.
So that left us with 7. Then I eliminated the ones that were on the losing teams, like Adrian Peterson and Phill. So that left us with our 5 guys you see right here. So you got Chase Claypool, you got Fitzmagic, who I don't know why Miami's benching him, but you got Fitzmagic up there. You got Kirk Cousins, you got Adams, and then you got, I don't even know how to say this guy's name, Aluakhan.
Aluakhan, very good.
Aluakhan.
So I don't know if you guys want to chime in. I don't know if you guys want to chime in. I have a vote on who the stud of the week is, or you want me to just go ahead and do it. It's up to you guys.
Well, I'll just talk about it a little bit because I think this is cool, and because Adams and Aluakhan are both on Withers, right? Ryan's team.
He also had Fitzpatrick too.
And Fitzpatrick. Okay. Well, I think it's cool because kind of part of my IDP strategy, you wouldn't know it from the trades I just made this week, but like I let my defensive players put them on the back burner and I try and find guys. I literally have never heard of Adams or Aluakhan, and that's not an insult. That's like a good job, Ryan, for finding these guys. Because then I spent 10 minutes looking at Aluakhan and he's having a breakout season, and I read about his history and stuff and where he came from. So I think that I learned for 10 minutes tonight. And so that was fun. So this has been a fun segment. I have an idea of who the best pickup was this week, but I don't need to share that at this moment. Mike, what can you say?
Aluakhan, he was everywhere against Green Bay. I mean, a lot of people didn't watch it, but he was flying to the ball and hitting hard. He's every bit as fast as Deion Jones. I actually had him on Madden last year as a 91 speed outside linebacker. That's how I had kind of heard of him. But I picked him up in another league I have that I have IDPs too, and that was good. But if I had to vote, I'd vote for Claypool just because, when a guy comes in seemingly out of nowhere and scores 3 touchdowns, scores 100 points, like, oh, well, you got to pick him up. But to have the gall to start him, to have that the wherewithal to go ahead and start a guy, not knowing if he's going to be able to repeat that performance. But to see him get another rushing touchdown this week, they're committed to getting him the ball, and he looks like a stud. So that'd be my vote. I thought that was a good pickup.
Yeah.
So, little insight on Claypool. I picked him up with the number 2 waiver. I have his number 2 on the waiver priority. I really thought that he was going to be picked the first one.
I had 3.
was shocked that I actually got him.
I had 3.
So if I wouldn't have got him, I wouldn't have claimed anybody and had the number 1 this week. But I had to put that claim in because mainly just as a cock block. But then when Melvin Gordon decided to get a DUI and get sick and everything else that happened with him, I had a guy who was ready to go in that flex position. So I was glad I made that move.
Yeah. He's the guy to me there too. And I know it's just for like this week is the focus, but I mean he'll be a starter or in your consideration for starting for you. He's that good.
Yeah, I'm debating if I'm going to flex him again this week. I haven't quite made my flex decision yet.
Yeah, he's going to be in the conversation until proven otherwise. So
all
that's
right,
awesome.
so I'll go ahead and pick the winner that I had.
Who do you have?
Surprisingly, I didn't go with Claypool. You guys probably thought I was going to go with Claypool. I actually went with Kirk Cousins. So there's 2 reasons why I went with Kirk Cousins.
All right.
Number 1, he had the highest score of all the guys that got picked up, 76.15 points. Also, he's the only guy who was on a winning team and scored more than the margin of victory. That was a 55-point margin of victory in that game, and he scored 76.15. So I think Kirk Cousins has to get the award this week.
I like that. That's really well thought out reasoning. That's good. I was kind of following that game because I pay attention to the NFC North, and he played so bad, and a lot of those points came in garbage time. But that's okay. That's fantasy. And he hit Phill, which was a big play. He hit him in the 4th quarter for a touchdown, and that was a big play in my matchup too. So, yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Nice.
I like it.
Go ahead. Yeah, I like it. Good deal.
Good segment.
Let's bump over to.
Mike, you ready for the dud?
Yeah.
Just move on. Just move on.
So, yeah, we'll make this one quick so we don't hurt Mike's feelings too much. But this one was pretty easy choice. Second mention of Gostkowski already today. He was the only player that was picked up that got negative points. So that was a pretty easy choice right there.
But I still won because kickers don't matter.
Kickers don't matter. Kickers don't matter. Yikes. Fun. All right.
Good segment.
That was great. Here is our standings going into week 7.
Good week to be balls or dom. But then once again, the cavalry division is just insane. It's just like, it's bananas what you guys are doing there, Phill. You had to be like pulling your hair out to see that everybody else won that week.
Yeah, so our division is definitely the most competitive. Like, we don't have a team that's, fallen and, just had a bad draft or anything like some of the other divisions have. So, like, kind of each division has one guy that's kind of been the guy kicked around. I give Ben a hard time, but I thought he did have a good draft this year. It sucks he lost Dak. I don't think he should be selling right now. I think he still is definitely in the hunt for a wild card, so I think he's selling too soon. But, yeah, our division is definitely tough, and I think the wild card's going to come out of our division.
Bold prediction. I like it. I kept my mouth shut, but I was going to tell Ben that he was making a mistake by not going with Andy Dalton. Because, I thought Andy Dalton was going to play a lot better. And maybe I'm an Andy Dalton fan and I shouldn't be, but he was pretty bad. Well, they were pretty bad on Monday night. He's got Justin Jefferson. Raise your hand if you've tried to trade for Justin Jefferson?
I didn't.
No one? You guys
I
haven't
didn't
yet?
think
Come
you
on.
would give him up. I wouldn't give him up.
Yeah, Ben did not give him up. Trust me, and I offered him the farm. Let's see. So that's cavalry. Dom's pretty stacked. Dom has a 3-game lead in the infantry. He's got 2 tough games coming up back to back here. If he wins one of those, I think he's in just a really solid driver's seat to win this division. But I don't know if he's going to be able to win one of those. He plays Brian, and then he plays balls first in a couple of massive matchups.
Yeah, I got the 2 other division leaders this week and next week, so it'll be a test of my mettle. I'm glad I got a 3-game lead, so regardless of what happens the next 2 weeks, I'll still be in first.
For sure. Yeah, that's got to be a good feeling. That's awesome.
More cupcake schedule for me.
Can we just look at points against? Can we just look at points against for a second? I'll go ahead and wear that crown. Thank you.
Yeah, you took over the lead. That's for
crown
sure.
Of terror.
And I mean, I just noticed, like, you know what I mean? Obviously, second most points for, most points against. Even though one of your wins was by 1.4 points, you know what I mean? I still can't get over that.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But in a week where half the league scored under 400 points, and you would have beat 8 of 11 teams, you still ended up losing. It's got to be. Yeah, it sucks, man.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, bro.
That's okay. It's okay.
I can't believe I'm gonna give Phill the BFL karma, the BFL show karma. Brian's been winning. Drew finally lost after winning 3 in a row after appearing on the show. So we'll see how it holds up. I'm out of my normal spot. Phil's on the show. What am I doing?
Oh no. All right, should we move ahead? Look at some matchups.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it. We can start. We can get mine out of the way because I think my matchup's not very exciting. I've got 2 defensive players coming in, 2 defensive starters coming in, so that's going to change my projections. But this is if you combine, we're combined 3 and 9, so we're not going to spend too much time on this matchup right now. Kyle's apparently going to ride with Joe Burrow because he just sent you Mr. Watson. I've been fighting off takers for George Kittle, but I appreciate the offers, and that's okay. So I've literally had 4 people ask me about Kittle in the last week, but I'm not quite ready to completely sell everything. I almost had a deal with someone, Mike, for what my quarterback, but I'm asking for too much right now because I still have a glimmer of like maybe I can compete. So there it is. That's my story.
Well, I liked how you were like, what's going on with you? Because I poo-pooed Kyler Murray's value and then offered you a trade for him. I wasn't saying he wasn't a good player. I was saying I don't think he's automatically QB1 next year. That's just my thoughts.
We go ahead.
And I also wanted to say, he admitted to it. Phill was one of the guys asking about Kittle because he tried to offer me a trade for Gronk at least once a year for like his whole career. For
some reason, I always find myself needing a tight end, even when I am happy with my draft at the position. I don't know. I just don't have good tight end luck.
Well, when you have a keeper that's like that, you know, much of a difference maker, that's hard to let go. I would value a top end tight end keeper even over most quarterbacks because the drop off after the few top ones is so significant. But yeah, no, as far as your matchup goes, it's time for I text Ryan after Joe Burrow had a quarterback sneak, and I said he really burrowed in behind the line there. And now I'm gonna say he's burrows in the lineup now for the rest of the year. For Kyle, I had, can we start 5 wide receivers? Because he's actually surprisingly deep at the wide receiver position, but his running backs are not there. And then I just put, is it 2021 yet for him? He's loaded with draft picks next year. For you, again, Kyler and Kittle, those are your bell cows. I noticed that Terry McLaurin has had at least 7+ targets in all the games this year, which is nice to see. 14 in one game, I believe. So you got to be happy with that production.
Yeah, let's keep that down so I can steal McLaurin again in the 4th round next year. just don't talk about him anymore.
And then, I'm happy with my 4th round receiver too, Diggs, this year. So, but no, making room for your new acquisitions. You were just talked about with Brian about trying to get Edmonds at least like once a year. Now you got him, so congrats to you. And I put that even though you're, in kind of a weird position with buys and injuries and, not having a first, second round pick, you're still very halfway decent. So, I mean, congrats to you. And I think you should get another win this week. So what do you think, Phill?
I agree. I got a couple just quick things about this matchup, mostly about John's team. He's second in points, we just talked about, but this is really a must-win for his team. And he's hitting the soft part of the schedule. So he's, got Thunder, who's kind of getting beat up on right now. And then Ben, who is selling for some reason next week. So I think that's a nice soft part of his schedule that he should win this week and should be able to win next week and get back into it. Kyler's got a really yummy matchup against Seattle. So I like that. He's got J-Rob, who's probably the rookie of the year right now. Of course, Kittle. Guilty. I was one of the guys trying to get Kittle. I had to put a feeler out there. I didn't think you were going to say
you offered a lot. That's okay.
I had to put a feeler out there and see.
Had to do it.
Looks like you've addressed some of your linebacker issues with your moves. So, no, I think you're the favorite. Thunder, I mean, his weakness at running back is so glaring. It's going to be hard for him to beat a quality team. Even though you're both starting a backup running back this week, as of right now, I mean, obviously that can change. You got Moss in there for the reserves and Jamal Williams in there on the other side.
Yeah, I'm hoping. Devin Singletary hasn't done anything in the last 3 weeks when Moss was kind of out. So I'm hoping Moss goes back to his goal line role. All right, let's get off this one. Our 3-9 combined records here. Don't need this long of talking. All right, dirt balls and individual one. I haven't looked. Does Seth have a full lineup with that? His score looks low. His projection.
Not yet. No, not yet. He figures to be probably around the 430-ish mark.
There you go. Okay.
Yeah, for dirt balls, he wouldn't have won last week anyways, but he had to have been kicking himself not having Matt Ryan in the lineup. What a blow-up performance for him. He's got 2 really fun wide receiver names, A-Rob and C-God. But now, do you see Godwin's questionable again already? That guy's just destined to be dinged up. Devontae Freeman is in the starting lineup again. He had 18 carries last week, but for yuck yards. Scored only like 18 points or something. Unfortunately for dirt balls, the outlook is bleak, but I still think he might have enough to win this week with obviously with Kamara and some of them guys. For Seth, we had talked a little bit about Rodgers. The last time Rodgers played in Houston, it was the week after he told everybody to RELAX, and then he threw for 6 touchdowns against the then number 1 defense. So that would be amazing if he could repeat that, especially for Seth. And then now I see his kicker is on the COVID list, so he'll have 2 guys on the COVID. He's got Sanders that's going to be out. He's got Mostert that's doubtful, mostly going to be out. But if Seth can get healthy, he can get good. So if he can find a way to, squeeze one out against a struggling team this week, I think he'll be in prime position to still compete the rest of the way.
What you got, Phill?
So I had a couple of notes on this one. First note was that I think the loser sells. So whoever loses this matchup, they're going to be 2-5. I think they have to enter the selling market. Although neither one of these teams likes to make much trades, so who knows? I usually don't even bother to make offers to Seth, and then I don't make a lot of offers to Nate either because he usually doesn't get back to me. But it is what it is. But I think that whoever loses this match does need to be a seller and get some draft picks for next season. I do favor the dirt balls. I think that Nate's going to win. Kamara coming off the bye is going to have fresh legs. I think that's a good spot for him. And I think you should start Ryan over Minshew. Not that he needs to be taking my advice, but I really think that Ryan's got the better matchup. Coming off the strong game, if I was him, I'd be playing Ryan.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
As for Seth, a lot of the stuff that Mike said, he's got no Sanders, he's got no Mostert, he's got no Parker, he's got a kicker with COVID. The only positive I see is I think Rodgers will have a nice bounce back game against Houston. And I think he might take advantage of the new rule from, was that last year, where you can flex the tight end? I think he can put Henry at tight end and flex the tight end this week.
Not bad.
He might.
Mike, if you would have started a kicker with COVID, you would have gotten more points out of your kicker position. But you would have beaten me by 3 more points. Anyway, yeah. Hey, so Miles Sanders, fun story is that I've had Boston Scott all year, and then I dropped him for Harrison Smith, and I was like, yeah, I can play Harrison Smith this week when I need a DB. Oh, Harrison Smith's on bye this week. So then I had to drop Boston's. Well, then anyway, long story short, Miles Sanders gets hurt. Phill gets Boston Scott. Awesome. And I'm starting Zach Moss this week instead of Boston Scott.
I had no clue I was going to get Scott with the number 7 waiver priority. I put it in, but I thought he was going to be a top 3 or 4 waiver priority in our league this week. I don't know how Richard Rodgers was the number 1 waiver priority.
Seriously? Yikes.
Yep.
All right, cool. Yeah, I'm leaning Nate because dirt balls are healthier. That's it. All right. Here do you want to do this, you guys? Balls first and Big Philly?
Yeah, for sure.
Holy schmolies.
This is gonna be and Dom and Brigadiers are definitely like the high profile matchups of the week. For what I saw, we had talked a little bit off camera about maybe starting Wentz still this Thursday, but making the move for Deshaun, Green Bay suspect defense. I am going to go with Deshaun. Excited to have him on the team. The guy that and then you talked about Claypool. You had waiver priority 2, and I had 3. I had Claypool ranked number 1, but right behind him I did have Fulgham. And I'm going to start Fulgham this week. So both of our guys that we picked up a couple weeks ago are both scoring off this week. I had talked on the show about liking to play a guy that's playing in prime time. So I have David Montgomery, who's playing Monday night. But with the move I made to get Keenan Allen, I think Keenan Allen hits the flex spot this year. When he's been healthy, he's got at least 8 targets a game, which is even more than we talked about with McLaurin. One game he had like 18 targets or something. So the rookies really like throwing to him. Mike Davis was questionable, but he just got the healthy tag this week today. So if he wasn't able to go, it was probably going to be Amari Cooper in the flex, because I had Mike Davis flex for a little bit, but then I changed it. I put him, when he was healthy, I put him into the running back spot, and then put Montgomery, and then I'm going to flip some stuff around. And then, I'm just hoping for more of the same. Again, just consistent points, touchdowns here and there. I'm due for a stinker, but I like some of my matchups this week. Phill, you got no Lamar, but you should have no problem. I think you got Stafford, right? Yep. Stafford, yeah, he's got a nice, tasty matchup. They really need a win. They're coming off a bye, I believe, so they should be. Or no, not quite. I was 2 weeks ago, but
that's right.
But they should be good to go. I see you got Fant questionable. That's too bad. Hopefully he can go. It seems like he's going to go. But Boston Scott. Do you know what he did against the Giants last year, guys? He played
week
twice.
17.
Yeah, he played twice against the Giants last year and got 264 and 4 touchdowns. So that would be a horrible thing. And then, are you playing Claypool over Crowder this week?
So I still have not made my decisions on 2 positions.
Okay.
Flex position is wide open, and tight end. Well, I think it's going to be Fant, but if he doesn't, obviously, if he's not healthy, I got to go the other way and play the Higster.
And I did talk about Blake Martinez on the show last week. Once again, he was in the 40s. Guy's been consistent.
What an animal.
I'm still irritated with Yahoo because he scored more than 40 points in every game, and his projection is still less than 40 points.
Yeah. Oh, I got, John talked about my cornerback from the Jets, Brian Poole, last week. The disrespect for that guy is unreal. he's projected to score 11 again. He's been getting me about 40 a game, too.
It's like a glitch.
And somebody picked up Goodwin, Benny Goodwin.
Oh, yeah, BJ Goodson.
Yeah. He's projected for like 11 points, but he's the 10th in the league in scoring among linebackers.
Yeah. And then Ryan is a guy projected for 0, who I have no idea why. Rashawn Evans.
I'm nervous about both of your guys' teams. There's a lot of Q's on Phil's side. There's a lot of questionables there.
Mm-hmm.
And Mike, this is more of a off-the-wall reason. Remember during the draft, I said I liked your team because you were reuniting Stephon Diggs and Adam Thielen. Well, this week, I think somehow you get this energy from those two being together. And this week, the bye separates them. That makes me nervous, man.
No Thielen.
I have no predictions, but that makes me nervous. So, all right. I like that you tried to make an upgrade this week at quarterback, so you're pushing in, baby. Push your chips in. This is a big test for you. This is one that I'll have fun watching. How about Ronald Jones? He's having a season, and then Chris Carson is just an animal. So it'll be fun.
Yep, for sure.
All right. We have 7 minutes on this version. We can go to part 2 if we want. Let's keep going though. Detroit Blizzard against the Cadillac Crew, 3-3 versus 3-3.
Take it, Phil.
Sorry, where did we go? I lost my spot there. I was going to talk about my team. Oh, okay. So, I favor Drew in this matchup. Like I said earlier, I think Ben kind of made a mistake becoming a premature seller. Bridgewater is a question. I think there probably was better options for him to go with at quarterback. Johnson, the wide receiver with Pittsburgh, I'm not sure what his status is right now. He made a nice pickup with McKinnon, but he's against New England, and I'm not sure how many carries he gets. So Drew's getting in the soft part of his schedule. He's got Mustache next week, so he could definitely go on a roll right now. He's got all of his big donkeys, as you guys say. But it is a must-win position. He's all in on those Kansas City players, Mahomes, Phill, and Le'Veon Bell apparently as well. Although I would play Robbie Anderson over Le'Veon Bell at the flex if I was in his shoes. But I think the Crew should win this game.
Yeah, actually, Le'Veon Bell might not even be active this week, according to Andy Reid. He, for some reason, Drew hates on Robbie Anderson. He can also go Corey Davis. He can even go Mecole Hardman. All of those, I think, would be a better option. Drew's got some defensive issues this week. Devin Bush is out, maybe out for the year. Patrick Queen's on a bye. Darius Leonard's on a bye. So he's got Leighton Vander Esch, who he picked up, who's coming back, but he didn't play a whole lot, and he only had 2 tackles. Jamal Adams is just coming back from a question, from an injury. How much does he play? So, Brian had talked about how, like, that one week where I had no guys less than 20 points. If you have a couple of single digits from your defense, it can actually hurt a lot more than you realize. So that he could be missing some what you consider usually easy points. Looks like for Ben, Deontay Johnson, who's been off injured, was a full practice today. That's good to have him back. Jerick McKinnon, the guy that I included in the trade for him for Cook, looks to be getting the bulk of the carries like you talked about. Even with all the buys, he somehow has a functional lineup. Everybody remembers Richard Rodgers' Hail Mary. Well, that was on a Thursday night, guys, and he's playing Thursday night. So I'm predicting another Richard Rodgers Hail Mary.
Oh, baby. It'll be – I mean, Drew has some big names and a lot of firepower. So, I think he overtakes it. Ben has some players who could blow up, but I think his potential is limited. Like, Teddy Bridgewater is not going to have that game that just carries you to a win, on any random week. And I really like Jerick McKinnon this week, though. So leaning towards Drew.
Teddy Two Gloves, as the kids call him.
Teddy two gloves. All right. Kind of the second marquee matchup is Dom versus the Brigadiers Brigade.
Do we
Man,
want to cut it
this one is
here?
going to be just a bloodbath.
Do you want to cut it here, or do you want
Sure.
to get started? Okay.
Sure. Let's finish off part 1 here, and then we'll go.
Okay.
Join us for part 2.
Okay. Sounds good.
All right. Bye, guys.
See you in a minute.